CWL Anaheim is just 1 week away, which means it's time to take a deeper dive into the pools and see what we can figure out. Obviously, the goal of the tournament is just to get the win, and that road to victory, of course, is going to start in pool play, where the first goal is to make it top 2 in the pools, which would get you to the winner's bracket, guaranteeing a top 12 placing, and it just makes the road to victory so much easier. Going to the loser's bracket early on really just sucks. So what you see on your screen now are the Pro League stats for the teams that make up Pool A, just to give us a foundation to figure out what teams are even capable of placing top 2. So that means we can just go ahead and cross Tatum Mines off the short list. With these 3 remaining teams, I'll be making the argument for each of them to be able to place top 2 in their pool, making it to winner's bracket, and kicking off the tournament, or at least the tail end of the tournament in the winner's bracket. So, Red Reserve, the easiest team to make the argument for to come out top 2 in Pool A. Reason being, best team in Europe right now, without question. They have a disgustingly good S&D record. Their hardpoint record is also fantastic. Their worst game mode, CTF, and even then, they're above even, right? 4-3. They're having themselves a decent time. Individual player talent, they are maybe not stacked is the right word, but pretty damn good. Rated one of the best ARs in the world. Scraps one of the best players in the world. Joe has been absolutely frying recently. And then Zero, at the very least, is just going to lock down USS Texas for you. They're a tough team to pick and ban against. They're a tough team to play against. They're very, very good. And if you want to take the argument even a little bit further, well, they had the best series count in Division A. They had the best map count in Division A. If you're at the very top of the division, you should be able to make it to, well, even top 4 at the very least of the overall tournament, let alone top 2 in pools. They should be able to breeze through. That being said, just to take it another step further, the goal is basically to make top 2. You got to beat 3 of the other teams. They're going to beat the open bracket team. They're going to beat Tainted Minds. The question is, can they beat either E United or FaZe? And well, the beauty of it, they played FaZe in their division and they beat them there. So absolutely, Red Reserve could and should make it to the top 2 in the pools and have a decent trip in the winner's bracket. So Red Reserve should be the obvious choice to make top 2, but this is where things get a little bit interesting. Obviously, these 2 teams were in different divisions, but United and FaZe have very similar records. So the expectation is whichever of these teams does better will be the team that makes top 2. So what's the argument that you could make to distinguish between these 2 teams? Well, for starting with the United, their record genuinely should just be quite a bit better than what it is. If they could have just avoided this.
Players winning gunfights all over the place. They got John on the flank. Arcee's finds one. Persini, though, for the 1v2.
The time. He's done. And Luminosity and John with 15 kills is going to clutch it up. And we're going to see LG take out United. That's going to be.
And this.
1v1, he loses that. Unlucky by a bullet. Now, though, this round 11, it's Complexity on the attack. They went for an A push last round. It barely worked out. They're going to go A again.
RC set up on the window. They can try to isolate the player mid, and they do just that. Clayster falls shortly after. Tricky opens things up with 2 quick kills. Pristini now taking some heavy fire along the statue side staircase. Dashy here, he knows he wants to challenge, but RC, he responds with 2 kills of his own. What happened inside the bomb site for Complexity? Pristini trying to find another. RC finds 3. It's off to Dashy on 1v1. And Pristini wins it. How do you win that 1v2?
And you can see EU United furious.
And this.
Could be hitting my front. Too many angles, and I'm only one person. Gives up the bomb site, and now Unilad can get the objective down. Alex is running around with a pistol out. Almost gets caught out position there. In fact, RC's going to commit to that. And no follow-up from Clay.
It's a 1v3. Spots Whisper. Oh! Can he find the second? Zed's going to be one shot. Still the 1v2. Has to worry about Alex on site. Peeks Alex. Oh! Plays the kill. Clay! Can he do it? No! One more bullet was all he needed for the 1v3 clutch. He was so close. But Zed goes for the challenge, finds the pick, and Unilad will take the series in Game 5, Round 11 fashion.
So yeah, as long as E United can avoid just those 3 Round 11 Game 5 losses, they should be fine, right? You change those 3 games around, give them the wins in those 3. They have a perfect division, and they look like maybe even the best team in the world. Actually, yeah, definitely they would look like the best team in the world going into this event. Obviously, the clutch factor needs to be there. They can't have any catastrophic losses at Anaheim. They can't afford them, but I think they were just a very unlucky team. And the fact of the matter is, if you can beat Optic Gaming, and much more importantly, if you can beat Rise Nation, you should at the very least be able to make it out of top 2 of pools, if not have a fantastic tournament. So United, clear cut, I think, top 2 in the pool. The last team that has a pretty solid chance at making top 2 in pools, or at least Pool A, I should say, is going to be FaZe Clan. If you take a look at their stats from what we've seen through Division A that they were in, they are an average hardpoint team, a solid S&D team. Like that first blood percentage, absolutely ridiculous. Granted, only over 9 maps, but still very good S&D. And their CTF is what probably hurt them the most. 2-5, it doesn't really cut it for a top team. But the thing about FaZe is, historically, they're a very good CTF team. Like, if we look at their record from the year, and this includes in every single event with the exception of Seattle, their CTF is their bread and butter. It's their best game mode. At times, they've been the best CTF team in the world. So 2-5 in the Pro League, and that is a very large factor as to why they find themselves in the 5th place in the division, why they had a 3-4 overall record. If you go to the normal trend of how good a CTF team they usually are, then they completely turn their entire division around. They bump up a couple places. Is it good enough to take down E United in Red Reserve? It's tough to say, but look at the series. They played against Red Reserve earlier on. They got a hardpoint win, and we already know that Red Reserve is a very good hardpoint team. A 2-round difference in the S&D. Again, FaZe, a very good S&D team. If it goes to Game 5, maybe they get 6-4 for the next victory, and then a 1 flag difference in the capture the flag. And again, FaZe, historically one of the best CTF teams in the game. It is unexpected that they play in that game mode as poorly as they did. They should be able to turn things around coming into Anaheim. Then this series against Red Reserve, maybe they force the Game 5. Who knows who wins it there? Obviously, it's tough competition, and E United is going to be tough competition as well. But FaZe is a team you cannot count out. They, at the very least, will have a very good chance of playing spoiler. So, excited to watch Division A. You have 3 very talented teams fighting for the top 2 slots. If an open bracket team makes it in, God bless them. I think it'll be very difficult to get out. But you never know if anything crazy can happen. But the expectation, I would say for myself, Red Reserve and E United make it out. FaZe Clan, they're really going to need to show up, but if you're a FaZe fan, you should have faith in this team. Going into this division, into the pool, there's definitely going to be quite a bit of potential.